Hey guys, once again, welcome to another episode of the Therapy Room. We hope you guys have been doing great, staying safe, staying sane out there. If you haven't already, head on down to our Facebook page, like us, share it with your friends, head on down to YouTube, subscribe to our channel as well. It's only a couple of seconds of your time, and of course, we appreciate all the love that we can get. Thank you for tuning in so early. For those of my friends on Facebook Live, thank you for tuning in. On this week's show, ladies and gentlemen, we feature a legend that has inspired many in the industry. He's played a major part in shaping my musical journey as well. He's played all over the globe and held major residencies in Singapore. You know him as Brendon P, but I call him Brother B. And he's with us. So, bro, welcome to the show. All right, bro. Welcome to the Therapy Room, man. It's a great honor for us to have you here, bro. Thank you for taking the time out, and of course, coming here to drop some tunes. We're very excited to hear you. We've been having loads of great DJs, and bro, you are, man. It's an honor. Trust me. Trust me, bro. So, bro, just a little bit in the Therapy Room. There's one rule. There's only one rule you got to follow. It's just be yourself. Feel free to express yourself. No one is going to judge you in the Therapy Room. Just free to speak whatever you feel like. What have you been up to lately, man, bro? Since we last spoke, what have you been actually up to, man?
Okay, well, I've been doing a lot of mixes, because I think when this pandemic started, what I felt was that people who've not been through, like I haven't been through it myself, but people who haven't been through the difficulties, right? I mean, people who haven't read about it in books, and haven't read about it or anything, right, are going to be really, really, really perplexed about these things, because when we were in school, we studied a little bit about the Spanish flu, and we knew how severe that was, right? So I think the thing that I'm not a therapist, right? So the best therapy I can give people is music, right? And music that's not too dark, or makes you think of dark things or go to a dark place. I just wanted to put up a lot of mixes of music that brings hope to people, to make them believe that this is not going to be permanent. There's a bright side to everything. Definitely. Yeah, and apart from that, right, I've been upgrading my studio, which I've been very lazy about, but I've goodbye Cubase. I've left Cubase behind a little bit, and now I've switched to Logic. So I'm trying to wrap my head around Logic. If anybody has any advice on how I can get better at it, right? Please drop me a message or something. Help me get with it. All right. I've been producing, right? Or like I said, since I'm getting into Logic, I've been trying to discover all the parameters and all the things you can do with it. I've got a few tracks together, but not fully complete. Well, maybe I might play one or two of them today.
Let me know when you play.
Yeah, I will. I've brought a pen and a marker, so I'll mark it and I'll put it up there or something. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to. Looking after my mum, and just getting through it as best as I can.
Awesome, man, bro. So, guys, for those of you who are good with Logic, please hit Brendon P up. He's a learner, man. He's always been teaching us, and he's always been learning new stuff. And that's one of my questions.
Learn from somebody.
Yeah, it's about time to learn from somebody, man. If you're young and you're into Logic, hit us up, man. Bro.
Do it before I die.
You're not gonna die so soon, lah. Don't worry, lah, bro. Got many more years ahead of you. So I see you've been very busy with a lot of radio shows and online mixes, and you also have this project with Zach, right? Big shout out to Zach. If you're gonna watch this, bro, big shout out to What the Fella Fell. Thank you for doing a great initiative. So, bro, you wanna tell us more about this initiative and what else have you been doing?
Yeah, well, the thing about it is there's a lot of people who have taken up the initiative. I think that sadly not a lot of local companies, but a lot of foreign companies, right? Like Mixcloud and Bandcamp, right, to help artists make a bit of money here and there. I mean, they've got Bandcamp Fridays, which gives us all the proceeds from our sales, minus the little bit that they take away for the bank transfer, yeah, through PayPal. But other than that, right, Mixcloud has also set up Mixcloud Select, which allows us to, I set the feed very small. I mean, it allows you to subscribe to Mixcloud and subscribe to the artist channel that you like. And, we, we make a modest amount of money, maybe sometimes a little over $100, or sometimes over, maybe a little over $90 or something like that a month, depending on who subscribes to the to Mixcloud Select. But it's still money that comes in a month, And some of the few local companies, right, that have, or local artists, right, who are struggling as well, but have taken the initiative. One of them is Zigzag, yeah, and he's come out with this what the falafel thing, because he himself has to survive. So he's actually gone into the food business. He's making falafel, but the good thing about him is when this pandemic started, he did a lot for charity. Right, he did a lot for the food bank from his blackout agency. I think he had two separate charity drives for the food bank, right? With different DJs over Saturday and Sunday to try and raise funds for the food bank, so that they could bring food to the people who needed them, like people at the dorms, people at people who were struggling to get through this pandemic because of the lack of funding or the lack of funds. So I think that's very good and very noble for a local collective, right? To bring people together and try and do that. So kudos and respect to you, Zigzag. Thank you. And of course, this What the Falafel thing, which he gets DJs to put up a playlist on Spotify. And what happens there is, generally, the DJs put up a playlist for 2 weeks. And for those 2 weeks, whoever orders falafel from Monday to Monday or Sunday to Sunday, I think, right, for those 2 weeks, $5 from this, the proceeds of the sales go to the DJs who put up the playlist. So, if you order enough falafel and you have big stomachs, right, his falafels are actually quite good. He actually even sends the DJs a whole falafel meal, right? And that's for free. We don't pay for it. He sends it to our house, and we get to enjoy, or at least understand how good his culinary skills are in that respect. And I'm quite sure Jade Amar has a lot to, his partner Jade Amar has a lot to play, a part to play with all of this, because she's a pretty good cook too. So thank you again, Zach, for thinking of us. I mean, so far, I think he's had K to kick the initiative off, and then he's had KFC, and then now it's myself. And my 2 weeks end this Sunday, right? And I'm not sure who the next DJs he's got lined up are, but I think it might be the people from the midnight shift, maybe. Okay, nice. Yeah, so support them as well, and just do whatever you can. We're all, we're all digging deep, if you get what I mean, right? To try and just get by with all of this, and yeah, just give your local scene as much support as you can, because I guess they're the ones who are going to be the ones you face when all this is over, and the ones who want to get you dancing again. So,
Absolutely right, bro.
yeah. So keep them alive.
Oh man, we are survivors, bro. Don't worry, we're definitely gonna be alive. So, bro, let me just jog your memory, man. A lot of people have seen you in interviews. I used to run down to Zouk to hear you. Kio. We had our own night in Selavi as well, Kureta, right? Some fun times. I'll touch on that later. Sky High Branch, man. How did Brendon P start his journey, man? I've never asked you this question before. So I want you to dig into your archives and tell us, bro, how did you start all this?
Okay. The truth is, I think it started probably in with house parties, okay, right? And we used to go to a lot of house parties back when I was in secondary 3, secondary 2, thereabouts, right? And every time school holidays came along, we used the word function. So we'd have a list basically on our wall, which party should we go to. And what we didn't like was every time we went to a party, right? The people, of course, they put cassettes in, right? Play these cassettes, and every time the song kind of faded away, and everybody would stand still on the dance floor waiting for the next one to come in, right? And what happens, it will be a totally different tempo. So if you're like grooving like this, and then you stand still, and then the next one goes, you know, it was just very disruptive. So we said we have to find a way to not make the music fade out. So we started using the pause button on the cassette deck and bringing our records over and saying that, okay, we've got to let the tempo gradually go up. We can't go like, from that to this. You know what I mean? So we started using the pause button and joining stuff. And then we realized that, okay, this part is a bit boring. We'll take a part later in the song where, it gets a little energized and the beats go on, and extended the beats and everything just using the pause button. Took a very long time to complete it. But then again, right, we had 6 months to do it, to make at least one C90 or two C90 cassettes like that, right? And then along comes the June holidays, right, and you bring it. And it worked. The dance floor never stopped, and we said that, I think we're on to something here. And then, of course, when I was in I think it was Sec 3 or Sec 4, I think Sec 4, right, a friend of ours, his brother gave us a lift back. And we heard this mixed cassette in his car where the songs overlapped, right? Okay. We said, how the hell they do that? They're onto something there. So we kind of asked Kadir, a friend of ours, right? He asked him where his brother got the tape from, and he said that his father goes to New York for business. So that tape was recorded in Studio 54, right? And we were saying, like, can you make us a copy of that tape, right? And we tried everything. We tried putting one amplifier, two amplifiers, right? People bringing the turntables over. We plugged it into each amplifier, took the headphones out, put it into the other speaker panel, turned the speakers off, and tried. Okay, now, right? You can't hold it for a long time, so we just turn the volumes up like a rotary mixer, up and down, right? We said, okay, let's keep trying to do it because it's working. And then we tried this out at a house party one day. And we were having fun, we were getting records joining in, of course. Two speakers would go out, two speakers would go on, all that sort of stuff. But it was grooving. And this dude comes along, right? And because the elevators had broken down, I don't know, we used to have this trick that we do, and when the elevator was moving, open the door. I think it must have wrecked the elevator. So he had to walk all the way down from his friend's house. And since my mom's flat was on the second floor, he had to pass our flat. And he heard all the noise and the music coming out, and he actually ran a mobile disco. So came out, looked at us and said, haven't you guys heard of a mixer? We all looked at him, looking through the records, going, sorry, what's that? So, of course, he dropped his card over and asked us to come over, and we kind of learned how to do it right. And it all kind of, I think the addiction kind of grew from there, from getting into records and understanding how a mixer works. And, of course, we didn't have all the panels that we had now. We just had a 5-band EQ in the top right-hand corner of the mixer, and that was all we had to play with. But, I think I got hooked. That was when I got hooked.
Nice.
Yeah. So, they're a bit.
Thank you, man, bro. Bro, so let me ask you this, because I face this, all right? Life is like a template. You grow up, you go to school, you study hard, you pass your exams, you get a job, and then you make your parents happy, right? That is the template lifestyle that everybody lives. For us, it was different, right? We went into music, right? You were cabin crew first, and then you were DJing first, and then you went into cabin crew. And then how did you actually go up to your mom and say, Mom, I am actually a DJ? And how did she take that? Because my mom, bro, I shit you not, my mom went ape shit on me when I said, Mom, I want to be a DJ. She's like, you get out of the house. That's my mom. Okay, so she's outside, but now she's a mellow person. All right, but back then, when I first came back, I told my mom, hey, I want to be a DJ. She's like, are you crazy? Can you just study properly and all that? Did you ever face all this kind of like discriminations when you came back, bro? You want to share with us?
I think that it's difficult when you live in a country like Singapore, right? And uh, although it was a much simpler time back then, you know, our parents came from very simple times. And like my dad, he had to go through the Japanese occupation as well. So he knows what hardship really is, right? And he would tell us a lot of stories about how hard it was, like trying to steal food and, you know, just to bring it back to his family so his family could eat and all that. So we could never understand that because we weren't even born yet, right? So when it comes to this, right, our parents know about how hard it is to get a job and to secure a job and to hold a job. For us, it's all about fun because, you know, we're in our teens. We love this whole energy of seeing people dancing to whatever we're doing, right? I think, but for me, right, the good thing was I kind of got discovered by the Bacchus group.
Okay.
And they needed a guy to fill in the Century Park Sheraton, a club called the Black Velvet and Gold at that time. So I met this guy named Paul Cohen, right? And I still remember, I think he was staying in room 727 at the Century Park Sheraton. He wrote it on the back of his card. And he apparently seen me playing at a mobile gig, right? At that time, I think it was the Dynasty Hotel, right? And you know, he was with a friend of his named Richard Seeley. It might not mean much to you, but Richie, he called himself Richie D back in the day, and he was playing in a place called the Hollywood East, and I think it was with Malcolm and Gary, right? And I was like, you know, greenhorn, you know, didn't know much about anything, you know, just loved playing my music, loved my mixing, loved trying to get my mixing right all the time, and yeah, so I started part-time. And because people wouldn't really give you a full-time gig if you haven't done your army yet, so I did that for a while at Century Park Sheraton, got a few other gigs with the Bacchus group, and then did my military service, went into the army and everything, finished my pre-university, went to New York for that and everything, you know what I mean, just to get a feel of where it was all happening, right? Of course, then went into the army, did my 3 months, hurt my knee. I got posted out to 9th Division, which was in Selarang camp. So it was a 9 to 5 kind of thing, right? And I actually managed to reconnect with some of my mobile gigs and some of my club gigs, right? Of course, if you work Sunday nights, when Sunday nights back then, the clubs closed at about 1 a.m. So of course you're waking up, and you know, and they say, you know, ke kanan pusing, going ke kiri, you know, I mean, it's 7 in the morning. It's all a blur, yeah. But I did reconnect with that, and when I was going to finish my army, I think when I had about 3 months left, the Bacchus group came back to me and said they were merging with the Juliana's group. And I mean, cut long story short, with all the part-time gigs I was doing, even before that, they were offering me a full-time job at the warehouse on Havelock Road. So, and they were going to partner me up with Stephen Chu. And I already knew Stephen Chu back then because I was taking his nights off at 43 Scots when he was playing there. So, you know, from an army boy to a full-time DJ, and I spent all in all, right, about 7 years with the Juliana's group.
Okay. But how was it like when you went to tell mom?
Oh, when I told mom about it, she asked me what how much I was gonna make, and the Juliana's group was giving me quite a good starting pay, right? I think I started at about 1,600 or 1,800 a month. So that to mom, right, was pretty like, maybe he can make something out of this, maybe, you know what I mean? Well, of course, I'm very sure that mom wanted me to go on, you know, and finish my studies, but she saw how much I loved it, right? She saw how I turned my entire room that my brother and I shared into a console, and I feel guilty about that because my brother had to share that room with me too, right? And all in, you know, you keep buying records because keep piling up, right? And you have all this gear and equipment sort of over there. Um, but mom was very supportive. She was very supportive. I think she was even more supportive when I left DJing to join SQ because I wanted to see more of the world. And DJing in Singapore was getting a bit stagnant. It was getting too commercial. There was you have a vision of where the music is going, and nobody here has the same vision. So you really want to see if your perception of it is correct, and the only way to do that is to travel, which, again, right, it's a bit hard on the pocket. We weren't really that well endowed in the, cash department. So, yeah, and I think I was a bit fortunate because I was already about 26 when I went for my first SQ interview, and they had already told me flat out that I would have got the job, but I was a bit too old. And then they raised the age limit to 28 after, I think, the third interview. And that's when I got through to SQ. And I think that my mom was even more happier then because she thought I finally got a stable job. And when I actually wanted to leave SQ to go back to DJing, that's when the trouble started. All right? But I think what was advantages also, right, is that I guess she understood, and I told her that I have unfinished business into this, and I just really wanna get back into it. Of course, she didn't have a say in it because I was much older, right? I was in my 30s probably. I think the hardest part was after I left SQ and wanted to get back into it. I lost a hearing in this year, and apparently what the doctor said is I had a stroke in this year, so my nerve was, totally wrecked. And it took me about another 3.5 months of hard practice to get back into doing this. And, well, the rest, as you say, history. Yeah, I am in the therapy room today.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, so, bro, you're 56 this year.
Yes.
All right. I called Vinod earlier and I asked him, hey, bro, how old is Brendon now? So he told me 56. You've been in the game for a really long time, bro. A really, really long time. You must have experienced so many changes in the industry. From music to how it evolves, from cassette tapes to DJing with music in the cloud right now. You can just pick up a song, play it on your CDJ.
I haven't quite tapped into that element of it.
The Beatport link, bro. We tried it with one of the DJs the other day. It's pretty dope. Turntables to state-of-the-art DJ gear, bro. How was it like for you to adapt to these changes? Because it's very hard for human beings to adapt. When a change comes, everyone's like, no lah, I don't wanna do this. How was it like for you, man? You've been in this game for 35 years? I don't know. Almost 40 years, bro. So how was it like constantly changing with time?
I think you have to tell yourself one thing if you want to get ahead in this industry, and it is that you never stop learning until the day you die, right? So I think that when new things come along, you can't always just be pig-headed and keep your feet in the ground and say that, oh no, I'm a vinyl DJ, I'm gonna stay a vinyl DJ. Embrace the technology, embrace other things, right? Embrace rotary mixers, embrace all kinds of things. Controllers, digital, analog, everything. Just embrace it, learn about it, and make your own choice from there, right? Because I think that the advantage for a lot of people who started off with vinyl, right, and reel-to-reel kind of stuff, the more analog aspect of it, I think they can understand more or less how the digital process works, because it's a lot of stuff in one thing, and it's a lot smaller, but it's the same principle that governs it, so in that respect, if you just put your mind to it, humble yourself to the fact that technology is only going to go forward. It is never going to go back, right? They're not ever going to make vinyl players like this with digital needle, this is what it is now, and heaven knows what it's going to be in the next 25 years, right? Yeah, probably, I mean, voice activated song start, yeah. Yo, J-Lo, or something, I don't know, but, just embrace it. If you want to keep at it, if you have the passion for music, right? It does. I think as long as, I mean, there's two sides of the coin here. You'll talk to a audiophile, and he's gonna tell you a different story. He's gonna go for sound quality, right, and warmth, and a lot of things. But I think at the end of the day, right, if you have a good sound system, right, and you have you're playing good quality MP3s or WAV files, right? If you pay attention to the importance of the sonics or the sound, I think you're gonna be okay, right? It's those people who are downloading stuff off YouTube that I'm worried about. You know what I mean? They don't really pay attention to the fact that you wanna hear every little triangle or cowbell on recorded in stereo or Dolby surround or something like that. You want to hear it properly, right? Which is something that YouTube is not going to give you. So I guess just embrace it and try and learn as much as you can and humble yourself. You can even learn from somebody who's 5 years old. Don't always say that, hey man, I'm the legend, I'm the guru, listen to me. It doesn't work that way. I think that you can learn from your neighbor's kid too. Really, if he's got it up there, right, and he's got the ideas, and he's willing to share, learn.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we're gonna keep talking about change. We've all been changing during the past 18, 19 months, man. The rules have constantly been changing. Regulations are coming out. Everyone's upset. Everyone's going through emotional turmoil. But hey, it is what it is. If we were on the task force, we wouldn't know what to do as well. I've always highlighted this. New way of life, new regulations. There's no music allowed in bars and restaurants. Did you ever imagine, bro, while growing up, that you will ever come to a time like this? The therapy room guys went to Rails the other day. And we sat down talking to Josh, and there was no music at all, bro. And it was so weird for us because we are music people, right? Did you ever imagine like a zombie apocalypse or a virus apocalypse would hit us one day, and you cannot play music in a bar or restaurant?
No, I can't say. I can't. Honestly, can't say that. The thought would have ever crossed my mind. But I think that by the same token, none of us are epidemiologists either, right? Nor are those people in the task force. They're not certified epidemiologists, so they can't, for certain, put their finger on how this pandemic or this virus is going to spread, how it's going to mutate, how fast it's going to spread. I mean, we only have the Spanish flu to draw from, that pandemic. And that was lethal. I think the third and fourth waves that hit of that pandemic were the most lethal waves. And eventually when it started in 1918, I think in February or January or February of 1918, and didn't quite finish off until about March or April of 1920. And in its wake, it killed 50 million people all around the world. So, of course, we have come a long way forward from then, right? And I still remember when the first vaccine truck, when we took our BCG when we were in primary 1 or primary 2, the first vaccine truck came and kids were crying when they were in the queue, right? And syringes and needles were like about that huge and that long, right? And they had to screw them into this glass little syringe, right? And take them out of the steaming hot canister or something like that. And it's scary, but I think when you go through all of that, right, you realize that it humbles you, because you realize that no matter how strong or whatever you are, right, if this fucking thing wants to kill you, it'll kill you, right? And I think that that's what everybody's afraid of, right? I think they're afraid because they don't have enough information or enough knowledge, right? And they're grabbing at straws, in my opinion, right? I think it's also hard for a lot of people to see other countries getting ahead, like the UK, people back at soccer matches, back in clubs, dancing, and it's also hard for people to see all their friends' businesses go down the drain. Um, and sometimes, you know, glad I didn't get into it, right? And then you feel guilty because you feel the selfish thought. You know, you also feel for these people who have actually, lost 3/4 of their savings and what they've had set up. You know what I mean? To try and start this business, right? And have this pandemic hit when their businesses are just starting up, and then having to fold it, right? Because this thing doesn't see an end. They can't see an end to this, and with the, I mean, it's almost like a metronome, right? When you play music, right? If you've played the piano before, I mean, you have this little metal piece in the middle, which allows you to adjust the tempo, and they keep doing that like that every few months, right? So this thing keeps going tick tock, and then tick tock, tick tock, and nobody knows how to feel anymore, right? It's like the pendulum of my grandfather clock. You know, I feel that you're swinging me back and forth, right? But you're not actually giving me a definite rhythm to groove to. And music at the moment, I don't understand why people always like to blame it, right? I mean, if I have one criticism, is that what they're doing is very one-tracked. They don't realize that not all music is going to make your jaw drop. It's going to make you shout, right? Not all DJs play their music at a very, very excessively loud volume, right? If you're in a restaurant, you will actually want to talk to someone, and you know, whether you play your music loud or whether you play it soft, it's not going to stop someone who's had maybe about 3 or 4 beers, right? Start stopping and spreading droplets around, right? You could be playing the Bloody Carpenters, right? And this guy will be like, you know, screaming and yelling at you and everything like that. You know, so, you know, what's to stop? It doesn't matter what sort of music you play, right? There's going to be, you know, even if it's silent, right? And look at how the cases are kind of, you know, getting ahead every day. We see the numbers going up and up and up, and there has not been any music played, right? I don't even think that wherever these cases are coming from or spreading from are music-oriented places anyway. So it's a bit hard, and the only criticism I have is that they do not choose to open a dialogue to understand it better. That's it. You know, if they will only speak to us and hear us out and listen to some of, you know, the ideas that we have to allow this industry to get ahead, right? Don't just place a blanket ban on it, but open a dialogue with people who actually care and are not going to criticize you but try and help you. Maybe we can get somewhere. But, you know, until then, we just have to accept that the situation is beyond our control and just try and make the best of what we can with our lives and with the industry.
Cool. So, to the government, if you guys are going to watch this ever, or, you know, to whoever is handling stuff, come and speak to one of us. You know, like what Brendon just said, a DJ does not necessarily need to play at 110 dBs. We do restaurant sets. Yeah. We don't play loud music all the time. We do dinner sets. We create playlists for restaurants. There's a lot of different elements to playing music. So let me bring you back to a time where we celebrated your 50th birthday in Coup d'etat. Singapore celebrated SG50. That's the day that the Singapore DJs, I think, broke the Guinness World Record. And you were playing at Skybar. And we had our own version of your birthday, was BP50. Do you remember that thing, right? I think you still have it. We arranged 50 shots of alcohol, and this man finished it. I don't know how he did it that time, but he finished 50 shots of alcohol on his 50th birthday. Obviously, he was smashed, and I don't know if we can ever do that again, bro. I don't think so, man. I get scared now. Like, even if 2 shots come out, I get very scared. So, I recently met you at Rails, right? Yeah, in record time. Everybody was there. It was your 50th birthday, right? So, I recently met you, and you told me that you have actually stopped drinking alcohol, or you drink very little now. Wait, let me get back to you, wait, and we all have gone through some form of detox, right? During this pandemic, it has got some good. Like I don't drink carbonated drinks anymore. It doesn't look like it, but yeah, I don't. And you have stopped drinking alcohol and all. How important is it, bro, to take care of your health as a DJ? You know, a lot of people miss this part of it. You know, we get too complacent. We take in all that sugar on a Monday night. Our friend will roll up and hey, bro, tequila, and you have a crazy night. And right now, bro, when you don't have all this, you have the time to actually take care of yourself. How important is this element?
I don't know. I mean, when I first moved into my own place, right? I think one of the conscious decisions that I made was that I would not drink at home. Because, you know, if you have a bad night and you're miserable and you keep enough alcohol at home, it's very easy to go down the alcoholic road if you do that. So I told myself the discipline that I will uphold is not to drink at home. Right? You're already given a drink allowance when you're working, right? So that makes it a little tempting enough. But I think you have to be aware of your mortality as well. As you get older, your body systems slow down, right? So your ability to digest a bottle of Don Julio is not as good as it was.
I'm sorry, Don.
Yeah, you know. So I think that for me, it's not so much that I don't think that when you're looking at something called a pandemic, right, which is not epidemic, it's a pandemic, right? You also realize that they've put you out of work. Right, and whatever savings you have, right, need to last you for as long as this pandemic goes on. If you don't get any work, you know, and it's hard because some of us have got work, but then you know this whole ban on music thing stopped that work, right? And some of us are just fortunate enough to have our savings see us through, and you know, for some of us on the horizon, these savings will see us through for at least until a good part of next year. So I think you also have to own up to reality and tell yourself that no, sorry, my bank account can't support that kind of lifestyle, and you know, I think I'll be content with buying a carton of milk that will last me a few days and live off that, right? And you know, a big box of green tea bags and make your own tea, and you know, I mean, just to you know, tell yourself that look, I've got to live simply and I've got to live within my means, right? And a bottle of Don Julio is not exactly a cheap thing. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, as much as I do like tequila, all right, and I do like to have a shot of Angelico with my coffee every now and then, and of course a good Malbec, right? Yeah, I have to own up to reality and tell myself that I cannot afford that lifestyle to live that. You know, maybe if I'm rolling in the deep again, right? You know, rolling in what they say, in the black, right? Yeah, maybe I'll go up to a nice wine shop and say, okay, it's Christmas time, I'm gonna buy myself a nice bottle of Malbec, and I'll sit there and go, baby, right? And all that shit. But for the moment, yeah, I think over the last few years during the course of the pandemic, I've not really had much alcohol. Yeah.
All right, bro. One final question before we get you on set. One final one. Brendon P has seen music, has seen nightlife, has seen entertainment evolve. Not only just here, you have played all around the world.
No, I'm not playing a strip bar.
You've not played in a strip bar. Phuket is welcoming you, bro, with open arms. In your opinion, bro, how would you like this to see the scene in 10 years from now? How would you like to see the scene in 10 years from now? And what is your goal as BP in that scene?
Well, I can't really say because 10 years is a long time to look ahead. But I would just hope that people learn to appreciate dancing to a wide variety of music and keep doing that, rather than it just be electronic music the whole time, or I mean, I want to see that appreciation for different styles of music continue, and just people going out and having a good time. rather than getting too serious about something and going there and saying, 造beat, or anything, criticizing DJs and all this kind of shit, right? I would less like to see people getting together, having a good time, and enjoying music, right? Rather than this whole, oh, I'm elitist. I only play techno, I only play. Yeah, music is music. So I do not want to see any elitism in this industry 10 years from now. Or, discuss music, don't discuss other people or other DJs, right? Cancel culture also has to be cancelled. Thank you very much. That's what I would like to see. Thank you very much. I just hope it gets better, not worse. Because this pandemic has seen a lot of people get better, but a lot of people get very, 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 very nasty as well.
Cool, man.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you for chatting with me, bro. That was an amazing interview, one of our longest ever. Thank you for sharing your insight, with us. Right about now. No, bro. He's got a friend to introduce to everybody. Okay, bring your friend on set. This is the first ever time.
Yeah, it's the first ever time because when I was at C'est La Vie, we always used to talk about my what they thought was my imaginary friend Baba, right? Who's kind of a chimpanzee, right? Half gorilla, half chimpanzee. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever on TV, here's Baba. Here's Baba. All right, so it's real. It's not a figment of my imagination. All right, say hi to Baba. Baba will be back, and thank you, Deepa.
Thank you, Brendon. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Baba. He's definitely going to be on set. But right about now, music to your ears. I've been waiting to hear you, bro, for a long time. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on set my brother B, Brendon P.
preso como um animal. Louco, sou irracional sem você. Portanto, não me leve a mal. Não há nada de natural sem você. Minha vida fica sem sal. Faço pacto com o maioral sem você. Tomo logo um sorrisal. Meu desespero é geral sem você. Cadê você? Minha alegria. Você se foi, não volta mais. Cadê você? Estrela guia. Cê vai na frente, eu vou atrás. Mando tudo pro escambau. Perdido feito Bacurau sem você. O teu olhar sensacional me dá um vazio sideral sem você. Sinto um desejo carnal, me torno um ser tão banal sem você. O seu amor me foi fatal, só sinto mal-estar vagal sem você. Cadê você? Minha alegria. Você se foi, não volta mais. Cadê você? Estrela guia. Cê vai na frente, eu vou atrás. Sofro demais. Aceite um grande amor. Sofro demais. Aceite um grande amor. Portanto, não me leve a mal. Mando tudo pro escambau. O seu amor me foi fatal. Tô preso como um animal. Cadê você? Cadê você? Cadê você? Cadê você?
Se non mi stai accorto con quello diciamo, la gente che ti guarda se ne fotte io. Ma non è come brutta sta comaleria. E allora tieni la mente, perché non si fa male che se ne sa me. E se mi dà pazienza su guai e mo. Ya look at you for, ya look at you for, hey. E allora viva da su, se non ti stai accorto con quello diciamo, la gente che ti guarda se ne fotte io. Ma non è come brutta sta comaleria. E allora viva da nato, stanotte a giorno muto senza male ma con cose di magnate che t'ha fatta ma tenga televisione 36 canali. Si parlano tutti insieme su tanta capelli. Ma quando ci ma fuori sarà primavera. Ma quando ci ma fuori sarà primavera. Ma quando ci ma fuori sarà primavera. Primavera, primavera, i va, con costi mangiate che l'ha fatta, ma tenga televisione 36 canali, si ballano a Trentino 70 capelli, ma quando esciamo fuori sarà primavera, ma quando esciamo fuori sarà primavera, ma quando esciamo fuori sarà primavera, 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 primavera.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Grace Jones, slave to the rhythm.
rhythm. Love to the rhythm. Slave to the rhythm.
Slave to the rhythm,
Baby.
to the rhythm, to the rhythm,
Don't cry, it's only the rhythm.
cuántas semanas que caminamos juntas. Presionaste tus labios contra mis labios por la primera vez y la última vez. Por primera vez y la última
Sound of the music. 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 Sound of the music.
shoulders of the giants that have come before. Some of you have to move before we all can keep talking. Hit the ground and change the mindset. Some of us have to move before we all can stand tall, standing on the shoulders of the giants that have come before. Some of you have to move before we all can keep talking. Hit the ground and change the mindset. Some of us have to move before we all can stand tall, standing on the shoulders of the giants that have come before. Some of you have to move before we all can keep talking.
pressure. Under pressure.
Hey guys, that was the sounds of Brendon P. Rocking up the sounds right here at the therapy room. We'll see you for the next one, guys. Stay safe and stay sane. If you haven't already, head on down to our Facebook page, like us, head on down to YouTube, and subscribe. Peace out, guys. See you for the next one.